The pharaohs of ancient Egypt were ET hybrids. This is what a shock theory claims. Let's remember that even the ancient Greeks believed that the gods of Mount Olympus were extraterrestrials, even Atlanteans. The Emerald Tablets, written by Thoth the Atlantean, says that they had such tremendous advanced technology that they were abusing it to the detriment of humans. He also exclaims that there were several that escaped Atlantis before the destruction and established new cities and colonies in various areas around the world. And the first thing they did was build pyramids for some odd reason. And of course we have this Abydos temple of Seti hieroglyph showing helicopters, submarines, jet airplanes, hovercraft, things that we have today. And this was a temple that was not allowed to be damaged by one of the last pharaohs of Egypt, Nectanebo. Even though he had other temples destroyed, this one was not to be touched because, as he said, this was the location of the landing of the overlords of Egypt, quote unquote. The extraterrestrials that came and were the overlords of Egypt came to Abydos. So, various texts showing us pharaohs of ancient Egypt were ET hybrids, according to a new theory. Could the pharaohs of ancient Egypt have been alien-human hybrids? Theory circulating online claims this. Believers produced mocked-up pictures of the famous gods next to extraterrestrials to show how they could have been human beings with elongated heads. According to Express UK, the report points out that Egyptian legends date their origins back to Zep Tepi, which translates as the first time or a golden age, when legend says gods descended from the sky in eggs or boats. We still today call them spacecrafts. Now, the staggering claim builds on the ancient aliens theory, which says that monuments like the Great Pyramid and Stonehenge in Wiltshire, England, could not have been created using the human technology available at that ancient time. The theory suggests that advanced life forms from space passed on their knowledge or created the monuments before civilization emerged, according to Daily Star. And you'll see one of the videos I posted yesterday about the Dogon tribe of Mali in Africa. They knew about Sirius having a three-star system, and Jupiter and Saturn's rings before Sirius was discovered. And they claimed that they were given this knowledge by extraterrestrials. But going back to this, one conspiracy website, Outer Worlds, dedicates a whole section on the argument that aliens built the pyramids, or what we would call Atlanteans. Now, the theory says, because two imaginary diagonal lines extend from the pyramids on either side of the Nile River Delta, the early Egyptians could not have known this when building them to be so accurate in their position. And with their precise measurements and alignments with celestial bodies and magnetic north, it has long been argued that our ancestors around 4,600 years ago would have been unable to physically build the ancient pyramids of Giza. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. It takes a a giant leap from the mystery to say that it must have been aliens. So these otherworldly visitors were then revered as gods by our ancestors, who then worshipped them from these ancient monuments. And the theory says the ones which were supposedly built to house the remains of the dead pharaohs, the ones you thought were built by the Egyptians, well, you're wrong. And the theory says they were built by extraterrestrial aliens, ancient aliens, as we would say. And let's take a look at some undeniable evidence. It states here is what really happened. A couple of aliens flying high enough over Earth to be able to see where the Nile Delta is Delta's origin is, easily saw that orientation the pyramid would need to be in order to have its diagonals lie on those two lines. And coming to mind now is, of course, the Nazca lines of Peru, which are ancient, and they look like airport runways and various designs that you could only see and make out what they are from the atmosphere, from our skies. Now, Outer World also says that Great Pyramids lines up, the Great Pyramid of Giza lines up almost exactly with the magnetic North Pole. It says, how could the Egyptians possibly have built their pyramid facing the exact magnetic North Pole without even having a compass? Those aliens, abundant in their knowledge and drowning in technology, came along and used their compasses. They landed on Earth and found the actual magnetic North and South Poles. Then they built their pyramids. The website cites several further examples that it claims are proof that the pyramids were built so mathematically perfectly to align with celestial objects, it simply would not have been possible for our early ancestors to achieve this. It uses a photograph of the Great Pyramid of Giza and its neighbor as seen from the Sphinx on the evening of the summer solstice. The sun is seen setting in the exact center of the two pyramids. And at the time, the Egyptians did not know the exact length of the year or when the summer solstice was, it says. And it claims that aliens would, however, have been able to calculate the longest day of the year. The sun also rises and traces the head of this phoenix on the winter solstice, the website points out. Other Worlds also adds that the positioning of the three pyramids of Giza are exactly aligned with the position of the three stars in the belt of Orion as they were back in 10,500 BC. So that's about over 12,500 years ago, and we know what happened then. That was around the time of the Clovis Comet. It's amazing how these dates coincide, isn't it? Now, the website states, the aliens, with their plethora of wisdom, came down to Earth around 10,500 BC. Again, that's about 12,500 years ago. Again, the time of the Clovis Comet. And they built the pyramids and the Sphinx, it says. They built it with a head of a lion to match the belt of Orion, as well as the constellation of Leo. Thousands of years later, Ramesses the Pharaoh, the egomaniacal dictator Pharaoh of Egypt, decided that he didn't like having the head of a lion on top of the statue in his land, so he had a head of his own likeness constructed instead. And the site suggests that if humans could not have done it, then superior aliens must have been involved. Let's remember we have had a number of extinction level events in the past. The last super eruption of the North Island of Taupo, the supervolcano of Taupo, New Zealand, 27,000 years ago, was an almost extinction level event. And anthropologists have told us that only about 2,000 humans were left alive from that throughout the world. And again, the Clovis culture and a lot of megafauna, megaflora have had about 13,000 years ago from the Clovis comet have also disappeared. Now, but on the flip side, the ancient alien debunked.com is equally passionate about the evidence that humans could have built the pyramids when history tells us they were constructed. In an article about the pyramids, the website says the so-called unfinished obelisk is 1,000 tons made of granite, but was abandoned midway through because a crack developed in it, and it was unusable. So it said the stone, because it's unfinished, gives us direct insight into how they cut and shaped granite as well as other stones. After the stones had been roughly shaped using pounding stones, they would begin to polish them with grinders. There have been many types of stone grinders or polishers found in ancient Egypt. About 85% of the stone used in the construction of the pyramids was relatively soft sandstone, which was quarried right on site. The site says there is evidence that wooden sleds and ropes made from papyrus were used to move the stones. And it said, I at least hope that by now most of us can see that these construction techniques were well within the capabilities of mankind to conceive and achieve without the intervention of aliens. This is by John Austin, Express UK, on Bended Reality. And of course, there are those that believe that a lot of the stones from the pyramids were cast. In other words, they were brick. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support.